New Year's Eve found me alone in my house. I'd already celebrated Christmas with family, and with no plans for the evening, I settled in with some cold beers and mindless television. The ball dropped in Times Square, and I switched to classic holiday films, content in my solitude. By 2 in the morning, restlessness crept in. I'd been glued to the couch all day, and despite the late hour, sleep felt distant. Through the window, I watched soft snowflakes drifting down. The night was cold and dark, but something about it called to me. I needed to move. I bundled up in my winter gear and stepped outside. The silence struck me immediately. Even at this ungodly hour on New Year's, I'd expected some sign of celebration. Distant music, partygoers stumbling home, something. Instead, the neighborhood sat frozen and still. Christmas lights glowed on empty houses. Not a single car moved through the streets. The quietness felt almost sacred. I wandered aimlessly, my route dictated by whim rather than purpose. The alcohol in my system made time fluid, unmeasurable. Eventually, my feet carried me to the local park. The walking path bore only a thin layer of snow, maybe 2 inches, so I ventured in, thinking the change of scenery might be pleasant. That's when I noticed the street lamps were dark. I'd walked this trail countless times at night, always guided by those small lights. They must have shut them off for winter. Combined with the deepening snow, I decided to turn back. I barely retraced my steps for a minute when something made my blood run cold. Fresh footprints ran parallel to mine. Footprints that definitely weren't there moments ago. Someone had been following me in complete silence. The tracks didn't just mirror my path, they shadowed it with disturbing precision. Then, just as suddenly, they veered off the trail into the pitch-black woods. I froze, straining to see into the darkness. Someone could have been standing 10 feet away, and I wouldn't have known. The blackness was absolute. My pace quickened instinctively, though my tipsy brain tried to rationalize it away. Just a coincidence. Another late-night walker. Nothing sinister. I left the park and continued through the neighborhood, taking the long way home. 15 more minutes of walking, and I saw no one else. Relief washed over me as I finally reached my front door.
Inside, I stripped off my winter layers, planning a hot shower before bed. I was halfway up the stairs when I noticed something wrong. The upstairs hallway was completely dark. Every light was off. This shouldn't have been unusual, except that I'm meticulous about leaving lights on. I hadn't been upstairs since morning. Those lights had definitely been on when I left. My hand trembled slightly as I flicked the switch. Light flooded the hallway, revealing nothing obviously amiss. I checked each room methodically, peering inside before closing the door firmly. When I finished the last room and turned around, my heart nearly stopped. The first door, the one right by the stairs, stood wide open. Someone was in my house right now.
I called out, my voice cracking. No response. Every shadow suddenly seemed to hide a threat. They could be in any of these rooms, or they could have slipped downstairs while I was checking up here. I forced myself to move forward, each step deliberate and quiet. Adrenaline flooded my system as I approached that open doorway, my gut churning with dread. Then, everything went black. When consciousness returned, I was sprawled on the hallway floor,
my skull pounding with the worst headache of my life. My vision swam, fading in and out. Only 10 minutes had passed, but I had no memory of what happened in between. Someone had attacked me, struck me hard enough to knock me out cold.
I fumbled for my phone and called 911. The police found no one. Whoever had broken in was long gone. I gave them every detail I could remember, but the most crucial moments, the actual attack, my assailant's face, remained locked behind a wall of darkness in my mind. I might have seen him clearly. I might have even recognized him, but my brain had simply erased it. The investigation went nowhere. Updates dried up quickly. To this day, I don't know who invaded my home that night or what they intended to do, but sometimes I wonder if they meant for me to wake up at all.